Peace. Yo, I wanted to just build about the whole idea of God-centeredness. You know what I'm saying? And basically, like when you look at the nation of gods and earths, the idea is to identify self with the essential self, meaning the highest form of what self actually is, meaning creator, supreme beingness. You know what I mean? And translated into practical application, all that simply means is, you look at the greatest of what you are and you do the greatest of what you're capable of doing within the realm of reality. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so it's like, just doing your best and being the best that you could be. You know what I'm saying? Whether that's washing your ass, whether that's wiping your ass, you know what I mean? Whether that's preparing some meal to eat, you know what I mean? Or whether that's parking your vehicle, whether that's, filing papers at the justice, or whether that's, speaking to somebody, you know what I mean? Whether that's spending time with somebody, you try to do your best in everything that you do. And what happens is a sense of being God-centered. That is a motivational tool that forces you or pushes you to do your best. What it does is it creates a different degree of conscience than the average person has, because most people don't identify with being a supreme being. They just don't, you know what I'm saying? And it's like you look at any type of cultural, philosophical, or religious spheres, you know what I'm saying? The highest form that you could deal with is that creative spirit or that creative intelligence or that creative mentality that governs whatever that sphere is, culturally, philosophically, you know what I'm saying? As well as religiously, And it's like we identify with that, which means that we accept nothing less. You know what I'm saying? The average person, they may identify with, well, I go to this church. Well, I got this job. Or I wear these clothes. You know what I'm saying? Or I go with this person. I'm fucking this person. You know what I'm saying? Or this is that. They always identify with things that have a limitation or a set birth record, which makes them other than what they are essentially capable of doing, because they don't recognize the infinite or the eternal potential that exists within them. And that's one of the differences, you know what I mean? And like I said, us knowing that intangible intelligence of non-limitation exists within this physical form, we are capable of doing whatever we want to do. Like I said, within the sphere of reality. So that's not delusional. And there are some gods and earths that are delusional and shit, you know what I'm saying? They'll tell you some shit. You be looking at them like, motherfucker, you cannot beat Carl Lewis in a 100-yard dash, nigga. You 400-something pounds and shit, and you smoking Black and Mild. Yeah, whatever. I know that in your mind you can, but your body's saying some completely different shit. You know what I'm saying? So there are some people who are delusional. You know what I'm saying? And I was delusional myself at times, because it's like I said, getting this knowledge of being the creator before you've learned the different aspects of simple manhood and womanhood, that can make you somewhat delusional sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But that is not, the mission of this particular way of life. You know what I'm saying? We all have struggles, we all grow, we all develop, we all mature. You see what I'm saying? So if it is a person that's dealing with that kind of science or whatever, they just have not matured yet, if they ever do. You know what I'm saying? But that's not what it's about. It's actually about doing your best. You know what I'm saying? So if you see people and they got nicotine habits and shit, and they smoking like a goddamn chimney and shit like that, that's not what we teach. You know what I'm saying? We teach to master those things that are taken away from not only the physical life, but the mental life. Not only personally, but as far as the family and the community is concerned. You know what I'm saying? So God-centeredness is about doing your best at whatever you involve yourself in. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, like I said, the average person doesn't identify with that sense of supreme beingness. So what happens is they automatically set a limitation or lower expectations on what they are actually capable of doing. That's a said person other than, you know what I'm saying? And that's like a process of grafting, you know what I mean? Because they are really other than themselves. And, if they want to eat those foods, and they got a knack for that kind of taste, you can't do nothing about that. You just, show them what you do and lead by example, you know what I mean? Like I built about the other day, But it's like I said, there's, because sometimes some gods and earths can come off arrogant, but that's not a sense of, for some people, it may be a sense of arrogance. You know what I'm saying? But in reality, it's a sense of knowing our origin in this world and worshiping and not worshiping that which we know not of. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, having knowledge of this reality that, the supreme intelligence is you in the form. What that is you know who the true and living God is. You know what I'm saying? And living that way of life, you just try your best. You know what I'm saying? You try to do your best at everything that you involve yourself in. And what happens is your conscience motivates you. That shit'll wake you up anytime, you know what I mean, and let you know, like, yo, you know what I'm saying? You know that you could have did better in that. And what happens is that's by living this way, and that's one thing that the lessons do. By learning your lessons and being able to recite them, what they do, what happens is you restructure your conscience. You know what I'm saying? Compared to living your life and you can hear this conscience in the mind telling you that you should do this and you should do that, or maybe your mama is in your conscience, or your daddy, or your preacher, or your minister, or some shit like that. Whatever it is that's driving a lot of people. What drives us is us. What drives us is us, and that us is that universal self. You know what I'm saying? That supreme intelligence that governs any and all things, animate or inanimate, organic or inorganic, forces or substances in this whole entire universe. And that's what we identify with. And like I said, that is the highest expression that you can associate yourself with or identify yourself as. And what that does is it motivates you to do your best in whatever you do. You know what I'm saying? So essentially, that's what knowledge of self comes down to. Knowledge being awareness. It's like you confront or know the ledge or the limitations of reality within the spirit of physical form that you're dealing with, meaning that you're not delusional. You know what I'm saying? If it's things that I don't do, it's either because I'm physically incapable or I just don't want to do the shit. You know what I'm saying? But within myself, I have the infinite intelligence and potential to do all things. Maybe not in my physical form. Maybe my brother could do it. Maybe my sister could do it. But that's the science of being all wise. You know what I'm saying? All of us are wise. All of us have experience. All of us have that sense of discernment or sagacity to bring out the best in whatever we do. You know what I'm saying? So with that said, I just wanted to emphasize the fact that this culture doesn't promote arrogance or ignorance or delusional, a delusional sense of who and what we are. What it does is it motivates you to be the best of who and what you are. And that's supreme beingness. Peace.